Hello there guys, I'm Unstable Voltage and I just wanted to make a quick follow-up video on the Fastpoint Gaming and arc.co.uk server issue that I was having. I'm trying to keep this video short because I know some people were complaining the last one was a little bit long, so let me get straight to the point. If you don't know what happened, over a month ago I rented a Ark Survival Evolved server from a company called Fastpoint Gaming, and the first month was absolutely fine, no issues at all. But about 2 days after they took the payment for the second month, the server just disappeared. No contact from the company owners, no warning, just disappeared. So after doing a bit of research, talking to some other people, some other customers, and looking online, everybody seemed to be in the same boat. Everybody's server had mysteriously disappeared, they couldn't get access to it, and no one could get in touch with the company that was running it because their Facebook page had gone down and no one could get in touch with them and no one was being told anything. So pretty much everybody, including myself, just instantly went, okay, it's a scam. This company's taken a payment and they've just disappeared and taken the service with it. Well, after I made my initial video, which at the time of recording got about 1,000 views, so a lot of people have seen it, an email did go out from the guy who ran Fastpoint Gaming to all of the customers. And I'm going to read it out here because people have already posted it on the internet, so it is fairly common knowledge. We regret to inform you that Fastpoint Gaming Limited no longer operates. An issue with PayPal holding 90% of our funds plus another 30% of all payments received for security reasons due to having an influx in sales after the release of Ark has caused the company to collapse. I no longer operate Fastpoint Gaming Limited. If you have already opened your dispute via PayPal, your money will be refunded by PayPal. We would do this however they are holding our funds. Now, this obviously is saying that everything is PayPal's fault. Now, obviously I can't verify this, but I do know that PayPal does have an anti-money laundering policy, as do a lot of sort of card operators and money handlers. It does happen. If you suddenly get a huge amount of money going in or out of an account that doesn't usually have that amount of money going through it, they will very often put security blocks on it until they check and confirm that it's all legit and it's not some sort of stolen money going through the system and stuff like that. So it can happen. Now, I still think it was a poor decision on the part of Fastpoint Gaming not to actually inform the customers what was going on, because it would have given everybody a chance to go and back up their files and download everything onto their computer, so that if what happened is what happened and the servers go down, people would still be able to take their stuff and put it onto another server. So I think that was a little bit of a bad business decision, but I don't necessarily believe now that the guy was directly trying to scam anybody. Like I said, I've got no verification of this, but I know that these things with PayPal certainly can happen. Now, I've actually been contacted directly by the guy who was running Fastpoint Gaming, who went through things with me in a little more detail. I'm not going to say exactly what he said, but from what he has told me, I can sort of understand, well, yeah, these things can happen. He also said that one of the reasons why he didn't actually tell people what was going on is because he was trying to get the issue resolved with PayPal, and he was hoping that they could just get it sorted out and get the money released, and then everything would have been fine. But unfortunately, PayPal didn't seem interested in this, and PayPal had been holding the money for a long time. Now, a lot of people are asking, especially if you read some of the threads on the Steam forums, why everything sort of went off and was turned off. What you've got to remember is Fastpoint Gaming would have only been a middleman. So the hardware, Fastpoint Gaming doesn't physically own that. That's owned by another company somewhere. So Fastpoint Gaming has to pay for the rental of that hardware. Fastpoint Gaming has to pay for bandwidth. They'd have to pay for their server hosting for their websites. They have to pay a license fee for the online technical and sales chat software. They have to pay a licensing fee for their forum software. They have to pay a licensing fee for TC Admin, which is the software that allows customers to connect to their server from the control panel on the website. So there's lots of different things that are essentially being rented on a monthly or a quarterly or a yearly basis, bills that have to be paid. And of course, if PayPal's holding the money and Fastpoint Gaming can't pay those bills, then the company he owes money to just cut the service off. And again, yes, it probably is a little, It is a little bit Fastpoint Gaming's fault for poor business management in that side of things, not having enough capital put aside and, you know, relying on day-by-day payments to actually be able to pay the bills. But again, we don't know exactly how long PayPal was holding money and how much money they were holding. These things do happen. So I just thought it was fair to put a little video out and just say that, you know, the guy has contacted me and his story is plausible. Not only that, he's also offered to try and go off and contact the company that owns the hardware and see if he can get my files back for the Ark server. No guarantee that's going to happen because currently we don't know what state that hardware is in. It might have already been wiped or they might have already reassigned it to another customer. But the fact that he's got in touch with me and he's at least willing to try, I think is, you know, it's a goodwill gesture. So, you know, even if he can't get my files, which I still hope he can, but even if he can't get my files, I am grateful that he's at least reached out and tried to make the effort. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, goodbye for now.